Thank you. Okay. Vivian, Vivian, can you summarize the video clip for me? Okay, Vivian, from California. Vivian, are you ready? Can you do that, Vivian?
Which story? The following story or this story?
I cannot hear you. Too low.
The following story or this story?
We cannot hear you. Can you speak loudly?
This story or the next story?
The next one. The one I'm going to show soon. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Turn on the cam. Okay. Thank you.
Sitting under a mango tree. Who are you? The gardener asked breathlessly. I have no place to go. I would like to take shelter in this garden, if I may, replied the damsel. The gardener could understand that she had been thrown out of her home. He rushed to see the nobles in the capital. As the girl was found under a mango tree called Ambra, the gardener referred her as Amrapali. Hearing the gardener's description of the girl, the nobles rushed to the garden to see her for themselves. She was every bit a stunning beauty, as the gardener had described. The nobles began fighting with each other over her. Do I have any choice to select the one of my liking? Amrapali asked sharply. Hearing her voice, the nobles stopped. They allowed her to choose. Amrapali respectfully replied, I will not choose any one person, as that will create animosity amongst you. I rather belong to you all. I will entertain all of you with music and dance whenever you want me to. The nobles were pleased, and they built a magnificent house for her in the garden, beautifully decorated with everything she wanted. Amrapali was a charming dancer. She entertained the nobles from time to time, and they were all happy. Soon Amrapali's fame reached Magad, Vaishali's rival kingdom. When the king of Magad, Bimbisar, heard of Amrapali, he wanted her to move to Magad. He declared war against Vaishali. The nobles heard of this while they were visiting Amrapali. They immediately took off for the battle. Amrapali watched the young men of Vaishali ride to the battlefield. She was depressed with the thought that many of them will die in the battle and may not return. On the following day, a visitor came. He was young, handsome, and strong. Amrapali liked him at the very first sight. The young man requested Amrapali to dance. Amrapali agreed and gave an exquisite performance. The visitor was none else but Bimbisar himself, the ruler of Magad. Bimbisar stealthily came to Amrapali to admire her beauty, while his commanders were preparing for the battle. Bimbisar was spellbound by the performance of Amrapali. He fell in love. Amrapali asked, I have never seen you before. Where do you come from? Bimbisar replied, without disclosing his identity. I am a stranger. I have heard so much about you that I had to come to see you. Would you mind telling me your name? Requested Amrapali. Bimbisar replied, I am Bimbisar, the ruler of Magad. Amrapali was taken by surprise and admired his courage. "Come with me to my kingdom," continued Bimbisar. "I would like to marry you and cease all hostilities against Vaishali." Amrapali, by then, was in deep love with Bimbisar, but very painfully turned him down because of her pledge to the nobles of Vaishali. Bimbisar went back to his kingdom, rejected and disappointed. He asked his soldiers to retreat, and the battle stopped. The nobles came back to Amrapali and informed her that Bimbisar reacted like a coward. Only Amrapali knew what actually happened. She became increasingly depressed, thinking of Bimbisar and his deep-seated love towards her. She gave up all pleasures of life and could no longer dance. The nobles left her alone, not knowing what brought this sudden change. One day, Amrapali saw a young man with happy countenance carrying a beautiful lotus and going towards the outskirt of Vaishali. When Amrapali inquired, the young man replied, "I am heading towards Kotigram, where Lord Buddha has camped for his discourse to the people." Amrapali became thoughtful. She had heard of Buddha as the one who knows cause of all sufferings. She decided to go and visit Buddha, and she joined the crowd. With rapt attention, Amrapali heard Buddha say, "Out of desire comes the grief and fear. Free yourself from desire, and the grief and fear will wither away." Amrapali began to experience a new kind of joy. The words of Buddha soothed her. She went to Kotigram daily and listened to the Lord. She wanted Buddha to visit her house, but she was hesitant to invite him as she was a public dancer. Soon it was time for Buddha to leave Vaishali. Even after Buddha left, Amrapali continued to visit Kotigram every evening. She would circle the place where Buddha sat, praying to the Lord and listening to him in her imagination. Then one day, to her surprise, Buddha returned. She ran up to him and fell at his feet. Then she built up the courage to invite him to her house. Buddha saw the pain she was going through and promised to visit her house. Amrapali rushed home to make preparations. When the nobles heard of Buddha's coming to Amrapali's house, they felt insulted. "Why should Buddha visit the house of an ill-reputed public dancer?" they exclaimed. "He should rather come to the royal palace." The nobles first offered bribe to Amrapali so that she would agree to bring Buddha to the palace instead of her house. Amrapali turned them down. Then they went to Lord Buddha, requesting him to visit the royal palace instead of Amrapali. Buddha firmly replied, "I am sorry, I cannot. I have already agreed to visit Amrapali at her house." Buddha came to the house of Amrapali with his favorite disciples. Amrapali served them with great honor. She was so very happy after a long time. With great reverence, Amrapali asked, "Lord, why do I feel such immense joy as I serve you?" Buddha said, "Amrapali, you have begun to know the joy of giving." Later, Amrapali went to Buddha to offer the garden and the house for the Sangha, the association of seekers of truth which Buddha organized. Buddha accepted her offer. Thus Amrapali renounced her worldly life and got the peace of mind she had been craving for. Later, the garden which Amrapali gave to Lord Buddha was described by PHIM, the Chinese traveler and historian.
Okay, good. Vivian, can you summarize what's about? Vivian.
So the
Speak up, please, so that they can hear you, please.
So one day the girl went into a garden of the nobles and she asked the gardener for shelter.
We want to see your face, Vivian.
And the gardeners went back and told the nobles, and the nobles all rushed to the garden. When they rushed to the garden, amazed by her beauty, they started fighting each other for her hand in marriage. And then she saw this and she said that I will not only keep one of you but all of you. So they built her a house, and every so often she would go and perform for them. One day, King Bimbisar Amarga decided that he wanted her hand in marriage. So they went to war, and one day, a man snuck into her house, and he asked her to dance for him, and she did. He finally revealed that he was actually the king himself, and though she really loved him, she could not go with him because she already promised the nobles. So the king retreated from the war, and so afterwards, the girl was really sad, and she never really danced the same. One day she went to hear the Buddha's teaching, and she really loved it, so she wanted to invite him to her house. But the first time she didn't have the chance, and then the second time when he came back, she did. And then the nobles also tried to ask her if the Buddha could come to their house and to the royal palace instead of her house, and she refused, and they did. Then they went to ask the Buddha, but the Buddha said he already promised the girl, so she couldn't go.
Okay, and what happened after that?
They came to her house and she gave them tea.
What happened after that? After she met the Buddha, after she offered food to the Buddhas and the monks, what happened then?
I didn't really understand the ending.
You don't understand? Alan, you understand the ending?
No, not.
You don't understand that?
I don't understand.
Oh, who understand the last part? Actually, what happened then? Yeah, she became a Buddhist nun after that. She denounced, she let go of everything, her jewelries, her wealth, everything, to become a Buddhist nun, right? So what you learn from this story, Alan?
I don't really know.
Really? You smart boy and you say you don't know. I'm so surprised.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, Aaron, what you learn, Aaron?
Be nice.
Be nice. Yeah, how about Vivian? Tell them what you learn, Vivian.
You have to learn to stand your ground.
And okay, remember the noble one when they heard that she invited the Buddha coming to her house to receive the lunch, so they pay her 1,000 coins of gold coins so that they could invite the Buddha, but she didn't give up, right? Remember that? Cây Linh Dương, you understand that story, Cây Linh Dương?
Not really.
Not really. Oh, one more thing here is she is a public dancer right here in India. Those type of jobs is considered as low job. Like in this country, people working, let's say, labor work, huh?
Was she a prostitute?
Kind of. That's this is kind of a low job. Okay, the people look down upon her, but when she when she invite the Buddha to visit her house and receive the offerings from her, so many people were surprised that Buddha accept that. You understand that, Lavivan? And but later on, the other noble they were willing to pay for her if she would yield for them to invite the Buddha to their house, but she would not. You understand that, Vivian?
Yes.
So what you learn now? What you learn? So the Buddha treat everyone equally, whether they are low, whether they come from the high class or low class, whether they do any kind of job. Buddha accept them all. Why is that, Vivian?
Because she didn't make the choice to have this low job.
Yeah.
She was born poor. She has to live her life like this, so she doesn't deserve to be treated less than the nobles who are born into rich families.
Yeah. So what you learn then? So when you go out, how could you treat others, people, other students in your class?
You have to treat everyone with respect and equality.
Why is that? Why you need to respect them? Why you need to treat them impartially? Why is that?
Because we are all different, but we all have the same values, and we all deserve as much respect as one another.
Wow, you're so smart. Victor, can you tell them why do we need to treat everyone equally? Why we not supposed to look down upon anyone else? Why is that? Explain to them, please.
Why do we not look down to anyone? Why do we treat everyone equally?
Why we should?
Well, we should at least. It's because it's the sense of sharing that happiness. It's to give fairness to all people. How would you feel if every single day for the rest of your life, let's say your parents will always, let's say there's a piece of candy, all right? Let's say there's always a candy at a shop, and your parents, every single day, they will pick it up and they will eat it and never give it to you. Does that seem fair to you? And then they'll always say, oh no, it's because I'm older than you. I'm the grown up. It's unfair. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't make you happy. It ends up giving a lot of other people unhappiness while some. So thus, it's better to share. It's better to treat everyone as equal. So then we're all treated fairly and we're all happy. And if we're all happy, everything's good. So.
Okay. Who used to say it's unfair? Who used to say that? Raise your hand.
Me.
What happened, Alan? Alan, what happened when you say it's unfair? What happened?
Sometimes, like when I like my brother, sometimes he has like more stuff than me, and really? I say like unfair.
Really?
Because he has more stuff.
Emmy, why you say unfair? Why is that, Emmy?
Because when I like put on my device, my mom said to like stop, but like when my dad also like uses his device for like the whole day, and my mom does not say stop.
It's unfair, right? So how could you compare yourself with your dad then? How about Hong? Why you say unfair, Hong?
So my friend got a toy in school because she did good and I didn't, and I said unfair. I'm jealous.
I couldn't hear you much. Okay, Aaron, why you say unfair, Aaron?
Because today my mom told me to brush my hair. I got the comb brush and I brushed my hair, but before I was done, my brother ran in and took my comb brush, my brush to brush my hair. He jumped up and took it away. I mean, he said he's a ghost and he can jump inside me.
Okay, that wow. Who else? Who else say unfair? Raise your hand. Lina, why is that Lina?
Because when we were playing a game about tag, the game was paused, but one of my friends didn't know the game was paused, so she tagged me when the game was paused.
Okay, who else? Who else say that sometimes unfair? Raise your hand so I can call your name. Anyone else? Okay, so some of you say unfair. So why is it need to have a fairness in our life? Why is that, Alan? Why?
So that we can like all have the same things.
Michelle, why do we need to have some kind of fairness in our life, Michelle?
So we wouldn't get people angry, and people wouldn't get us angry. So then we would be peaceful.
So what do you feel when people treat you unfairly? What do you feel?
I feel
kind of mad, but I let go.
Mad? Yes. Who say
I
if people treat you unfairly, how do you feel? Raise your hand.
Me.
Yes, Emmy. Yeah, when people treat you unfairly, how you feel?
I feel like angry because like it's not fair.
Aaron, how you feel when people treat you unfairly? How you feel?
I feel clever, so because I find a way to make it fair.
Okay, see that you want people to treat you fairly, right? What happened if you treat people unfairly then? What happened? What happened? Michelle, tell them, Michelle.
They get mad.
If you treat people unfairly, what happened then?
They will think hatred towards us, and that is karma.
Caitlin Dương, do you like people to treat you fairly? Caitlin Dương, and what happened if you treat your brother unfairly, for example, or your other friends unfairly? What happened then?
They would hate me.
What happened then?
They would kind of hate me.
People would not like you, right? Hồng, you don't like people to treat you unfairly, right? What happened if you treat people unfairly? What happened then, Hồng?
It's gonna be so sad.
So sad. Victor, you have 1 minute to go. Can you explain to them if they treat people unfairly?
My pencil, no. What?
Explain to them what happened if they treat people unfairly. What happened?
What happens to people who treat other people unfairly? Bad karma.
What happened? The student here, if they treat other people unfairly, what happened?
If you treat people unfairly, those people you treated unfairly will treat you unfairly.
That's all. Any other consequences?
Oh, bad karma.
How? Explain to them bad karma. What kind?
In the sense of bad karma, whatever bad actions you do, you will receive equal bad punishments. And thus in bad karma, you give out that bad karma, you will have bad karma to you. So let's say you treated people unfairly. Guess what? All the people you treated unfairly will now treat you unfairly. It's just equal-sided.
Thank you.
That's one example.
So from now on, Alan, if you want people to treat you fairly, what should you do with other people, Alan?
Treat them fairly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Emmy, what happened if you want people to treat you fairly? What should you do with other people?
Don't like make it fair.
Make it fair, no matter who they are, regardless of their race, their skin of color, their nationalities, and anything else, Michelle.
We should respect their rank.
Regardless of who they are, right? Whether we don't, we're not supposed to treat other people unfairly based upon their race, their nationalities, like their religion, their skin of color, and so forth, right? Okay, time is up now. Who is speaker of the house for me today?
Me, Aaron.
No,
me, Jennifer. I'm the speaker of the house.
Yeah, turn on the cam and tell them what you're supposed to do. What they supposed to do.
Listen to your tutor and respect her only when she calls you to.
Okay, good. Thank you. You said good example. Okay, Jennifer. Yeah, cô Lan. Yeah, please, cô Lan. Thank you, cô Lan.